Welcome to Colombia! Welcome, wonderful people all over the world. My name is Frank, I'm Swiss, and I run a tour operator in Bogota, Colombia. In this video, we are going to show you great experiences, activities for kids when you come to Bogota. And the first we're going to show you is Maloka. This is a museum, but interactive and science and everything. You can touch and do stuff. So let's go inside and check out what we find here. So I'm currently here with Fernanda, and she just explained me that the museum is actually mostly about science. So we have different environments with science. We have about electricity, we have about mechanics, then we have something about history, as you can see here, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Then there's also a cinema where they project different topics, and it's quite big. So let's go and walk around and check out what we can find here. So we're currently at the energy station, and something very interesting here, especially when you have kids, you press here a button and then hot air is blown into the balloon, and then the balloon goes up. Like the big balloons outside, we have it in miniature here in the museum, and it explains everything to the kids, why that happens, cold air, warm air, and then because of the thermics, and yeah, I think physicists should explain that in detail, but as adults we understand how it works, so this is where to explain it to the kids. We actually have two spots, and one has a dome, so when you put in your hand here, you will feel that it's much warmer, and then also the plants are not growing. And then when you look at the other side, there's no dome, it's open, so it's much cooler, so there are many more plants growing. Growing is much better, so this is how they explain that climate change is not too good. When it's heating up too much, that's not good for the plants. So we have another station, and what we have here, a scanner, so we can scan here for example apples, and then we see here that it's to produce one apple it's 109 liters, and then when we go for example here, a kilo of meat, it's 15,000 liters for a kilo. So you have the presentation of different plants and products, and then here you also see a water tank which is 15,000 liters. So you will see what it takes to produce 1 kilo of meat, for example. We are here in a site, they have tours organized, and we have different games. We have a board game, and then we have the huge map, and this is to teach kids about city development, how neighborhoods work, how is social interaction in a city and neighborhoods. So everything about urban development and so on is here. It's actually very great, very interesting. We are currently in the emotional science department here, and I just learned about something about tears. So there are 6 types of tears. And depending on the emotion you have, the tears are a little bit more salty or a little bit more sour or sweet. And then I explained that we men do not have tears. So this is just one of the examples, so kids can learn here everything about emotions, and also how important emotions actually have been in the past to survive, and also how emotions today help to survive in this world. So it's a very interesting area here to learn again. So we have the evolution, and we see ancient animals and reptiles that lived here in the area. This actually is a replica of the one you find in Villa de Leyva, which is huge, and something I saw very interesting. Come with me, let's go over here. And here you see the Megalodon. So this was this huge shark, and I'm sure you saw these new movies lately. So this was a huge animal, and as you can see, I'm a tall guy, but this guy would swallow me just with one bite, or even without biting. So we have here the signs about migration, and this includes so many topics. So we just start here, and it's like when a migrant comes to this place and he needs a passport to get through the doors, like at the airport. So you can see wrong passport doesn't work. So you need the right passport. And then you can get here through the door. And then we have different topics, like different languages and also different use of languages. For example, there's one that shows words in Colombia and words in Venezuela. So for a banana, there are different words in Colombia than in Venezuela, and all the hurdles people face when they do migration, and there's lots of interaction all over. It's quite big, and everything about the topic migration. So we are here in an area where we have ugly stuff and sensations and fearful things. So we have there some insects, and here you can put your hand in. I have big hands, so I almost got stuck. So that was the first fear. And you go to the bottom, and there's some weird stuff. So if you come here, put your hand inside. We have some smells, and then we have some explanations, and like everything that is a little bit weird you can find here. I think very interesting for kids. They also have various laboratories, and as you can see, we have lupas and microscopes. So they teach the kids to use those scientific tools to see the stuff. And they prepared an insect here, so I can look through the microscope and then, oh wow, oh, that's awesome, I like that. And you can see like everything of this insect, like every hair and weird stuff. So that's really cool. We also have an electrical environment, and as you can see, we have the cage here, and they produce a lightning, and they explain everything because how you are safe actually inside, and that's one of my favorites. Conclusion, so Maloka is a great place. It's a fantastic museum, very interactive, lots to learn, especially for kids. Not only for kids, also for me. The downside for non-Spanish speakers, everything is in Spanish. So if you come here and you're not a Spanish speaker, it might be a bit more difficult, especially for the kids, but come here and everything is interactive to touch, and it's also a good environment to learn some new Spanish words, maybe. Hey Colombia traveler! Do not miss out on the great additional information we always provide below in the description sections of all our videos. Now back to the video. Also, one of the best destinations for family plans, especially with kids, is the Parque Jaime Duque. This is around 1 hour, 90 minutes outside Bogota, outside to the north. Jaime Duque was an aviator. He was a really crazy guy, and he founded this park, and it's huge. It's a great experience, and you will see it from far away because there's a huge Taj Mahal built in it, and the park is actually two parts. It's the countryside park where you have different experiences about agriculture and nature, conservation, birding, and then you have the actual amusement park with all the attractions. And what to say more, let's go and show you everything. Maybe this is an experience for you that you want to enjoy with your family. Let's go. This is the entrance to the eco park area. It's a huge area outside. It's about 5 kilometers walking. You also can rent bicycles, and you find different topics. On one side, the Muiscas, which have been the indigenous population ancient times. Then you will find frogs of the savannah. So it's a savannah area. This is the area outside Bogota. It's called the savannah. And then we have different animal stations and animals conservation and indigenous. So that's like the summary. So let's go outside and let's check what we find. So the eco park is a real environmental topic. It's great, and you have different stations. You have here the compost. Here you have a greenhouse. We have a bee house over there, and everywhere you have young people. They're approaching you and say, "You want to know something? I explain you everything." So it's really about teaching, informing people. It's great. It's a wonderful setup, but everybody only speaks Spanish. So if you're not familiar with Spanish, you need to come here with the bilingual guide for translation, but the setup of the park so far, great. So after the eco park, we now enter to the main park, and you can get in here in the main building over there. After the fountain, there's a tunnel underground. It goes underneath the road, and then you arrive here and you have a lake where you can use pedalos, and you have all the park with the attractions, and then we have the train that goes around. We will take that in 45 minutes, and now we go and visit the different attractions. There are some very important things I also need to mention about the Parque Jaime Duque, and this is that it's actually a foundation, and they have on one side the environmental and on the other side the social aspects. So they're currently building a house for kids, abandoned kids, and they also have a race. And they also invite schools from underprivileged regions and neighborhoods in Bogota and other parts of the country. So when you come here, you actually also help them, their foundation, to help with those social and environmental projects that the environmental projects we already talked about. Conclusion. So this park, it's great, it's very big, so if you want to come, and you should come when you have kids, family plan, that's just perfect what you can do, but you will need all day because it's very big. You have the environmental part, and then you have actually the amusement park here, and it's very big, so you will be busy all day long. You also can combine it if you want with the Salt Cathedral in Zipaquirá, which is like 20 minutes from here. There's also the Aeronautic Museum of the Air Force right next to here. But as I said, it's so big, you will use all day to do everything. But if you're already here, you can combine it also with other plans. Welcome you to Mundo Aventura. This is a huge park founded in 1998, and today it has over 40 attractions, and we go to explore it because it's also one of the best plans of Bogota for families. So let's go and check out all the activities. The amusement park actually consists in 3 different parts. We have the child part, which is behind me, and you can see many kids. Then we have the family part, and then we have the extreme park with all the very extreme attractions, the extreme rides and roller coaster and everything. And but we will show you everything anyway, so let's start here with the child section.